Hello, everyone. How you doing today? Welcome to our first Lunch with Lancers meeting. My name is Michael Fisher. I am the Director of Admissions here at Salpointe. This is our first Lunch with Lancer meeting that we've done ever virtually. So first, let me welcome you to Salpointe Catholic High School. Salpointe Catholic is a school that is 70 years old. We were started in 1950, and we are a full college prep high school. So 99% of our graduates go to college, which is fantastic. And you can actually see a list of those colleges that our kids have gotten into over the last 3 years on our website. And part of my presentation today will be going through the website, kind of showing you where things are, and then the other steps to the admissions process. Um, but again, we are a full college prep high school. That is our mission here. It's actually the fifth word in our mission statement is college, and so that's where we really focus our efforts to our kids on this campus. We're also a Catholic school. Doesn't mean you have to be Catholic to come to Salpointe. About 73% of our students that come here are Catholic, and then we have Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, and we've got kids that come here that don't believe in God whatsoever. But why do they come here? Again, college prep, great athletics, fine arts, STEM program, and these are all some of the presentations that we'll be going through during the next month in lead up to our on-campus open house. So we are a Catholic school. We're sponsored by the Carmelite Order. The Carmelites are an order of priests that believe in prayer, community, and service. That's their three pillars. And so we're one of their network of schools. And so what does it mean to be at a Catholic school? We start every day with prayer. We end every day with prayer. All of our kids take a theology class every semester, every year. So, I mean, it's kind of what's ingrained into our nature, or as I like to say, it's the thread that binds our school together. Doesn't mean everything we do every day is Catholic, but it is a big part of our school community, and everyone that comes to Salpointe realizes that. You just kind of feel it around the campus. So that's kind of a brief overview of our school. Our Lunch with Lancer meetings as we go through this month and into November will focus on different aspects of the school. We're going to have an athletics one, we're going to have a fine arts one, an academics presentation, a financial aid presentation as well. So this way you're able to get more of a feel for the different parts of campus before we do have our on-campus open house in November. And again, if you do have any questions, please type them into the chat and I'll get there as we go. But overall, this is our first one, and so we're just going to focus on the admissions process. So the admissions process at Salpointe Catholic is very, very straightforward because we want to make this easy on you as the parent. And we also want to get you as the parent into the mode too of applying to colleges. Because again, Salpointe Catholic is a full college prep high school. So our admissions process here at Salpointe actually mirrors colleges. Every part of the admissions process is done online. So from the start of the admissions process to the end of the admissions process, it is all done online. We will have some on-campus events such as our entrance exam, which we'll talk about today, our parent-student interviews, registration and things, but the real kind of nuts and bolts of the admissions process, all the forms, all the information can be found on our website. And I'm going to kind of take you through step by step how that works in case you haven't gone into the website and really looked at all the different options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to share my screen. This is our website, Salpointe Catholic High School. Hopefully you've all been here. And here is just a lot of great information, but for really our new families, you're going to start right here on this admissions tab. And here you're going to have everything from Explore Salpointe to our virtual open house. I'll jump into that site here in a minute to request information, but you're already on our mailing list if you're seeing this and getting our emails. Apply today, application process, and so forth. I'm not going to go through every single one, but this is a great kind of home place for you to get the majority of your questions answered. And if you can't find the information, so if you go to virtual open house and you're looking through all the videos and things, again, a lot of great information, but you can always contact me. I think on every page of this website, there's my name, my email address. This is spelled wrong, so I'm going to have to fix that on the website. I apologize for that. But you can email me, you can call me, and I'm here to help you in any way I can. But I can tell you, if you go to Explore Salpointe, again, some more great information about the school. There's my name. There is my correct email address. So if you just click there, you can email me directly, and then that way I can get right back to you. But again, on the website, here's some other kind of good information for you. These quick links that you'll see at the side of a lot of our pages, you can see everything from our admissions timeline. So if you ever want to see where you're at in, kind of what's happening in the future of the process, you can click here. We'll open it in a new tab. And let's see here, share this tab instead. And so here's our admissions timeline. So if you're ever curious about kind of what are the upcoming events, our applications opened on September 1st. We have our virtual open house launched on October 1st. Financial aid applications open on November 1st. You can see I like to use the first of every month as start dates. It's just kind of one of my things. November 8th is our on-campus open house. And again, you're going to continue to get reminders of these things as we go through the admissions process if you're on our mailing list. Entrance exam, we'll be going into detailed information about this as we go, along with StepUp Day, parent-student interviews, financial aid deadlines, and then decision letters. So that's our application process for incoming freshmen. And you can see it's one page. It's one page. It's very, very kind of straightforward and hopefully, kind of makes sense to you as the parent. And if it doesn't, let me know. What can I do better? What can I make in a better way? So just jumping back to the website again, this is a great place to answer a lot of your questions if you're curious about our academic support. So what academic support here is our counselors. So we have academic counselors for every grade level, along with a college counselor. And we also offer educational accommodations to students. If your student has a 504 or an IEP plan or something like that, then we do have students with those educational needs. And you'll just submit that information along with your application so we can make sure that if your kid does need extra time on testing or preferential seating in a classroom, we can accommodate their needs. Health and safety, this is a big one right now due to COVID. So you could go there, everything from our policy on admission of students to tuition financial aid. That's going to be another big question for a lot of parents. And we have a special financial aid lunch with the Lancers coming up later this month as well. So again, the website is a great place to start and kind of answer those questions. But really, today is about the admissions process. And so for our families, if you haven't done this yet, our families start by clicking this little Apply Now button here at the top, upper right-hand part of the screen. If you're on our mailing list already, you already have an account. So if you've gotten any emails from us regarding the admissions process or any emails, you have an account right now. So you type in your username. If you forgot your username or it's your first time logging in, you click this little forgot username and password button. And then there you're going to enter in the email address that you're getting stuff from us at. So enter that in and then just request your username and your password. But for me, I'm going to go back here to Apply Now because I do have an account. So this, and I created kind of a fake account too. So you can actually see what a parent will see. And my password expired, so hold on here. I'm going to change my password. If you ever do change your password, it needs to be at least 8 characters long. Enter in something that you know. But if you ever do forget your password, you can always reset your password as well to using this. So once you log in as a parent, okay, this is for Lancers. Yes, Lancers. That's our mascot. But this is for Lance. This is our virtual student for this year. So, and this is Lance's application checklist page. This is where you're going to start, and this is going to have the majority of information for you in terms of the application process. If you do have multiple students, if you do have multiple students, at Salpointe Catholic or in the admissions process, right here where it says Lance, you might have, it might say something different like 2 students or 3 students. So you click on that, then there will be a drop-down list and you can just go to the student that you're looking up as well. Also, thank you for typing in your questions into the chat. I will be answering those one at a time as we go through this process. So don't worry, I'm seeing the questions as they pop up. And I will get to those. So thank you very much. But in terms of the admissions process, everyone has a checklist. If you're an incoming freshman, this is what your checklist looks like. We have different events for our incoming freshmen. We have StepUp Day, an application form, how to request transcripts. And we'll go through each one of these individually. If there are any families on this call that are looking to transfer to Salpointe, so your student is currently a freshman or sophomore at another high school, your student does have a checklist in our system. It just looks slightly different. And we can go through those little differences in a follow-up call if we need to. But again, everyone has a checklist. Off to the right here, you can kind of just see some general information, but the checklist is really self-explanatory. So our StepUp Day, all right, is the first thing on the checklist. And if you click register, and we'll go to the registration page. So our StepUp Day, all right, is the opportunity for 8th graders to get onto our campus. This is a great day for 8th graders to really look and see what the Salpointe campus is like. Some of them have never been on our campus before, and so really they get a chance to come to campus, be in classrooms, meet teachers, walk the halls, take more of a student-led tour, have lunch, because food's important, and really kind of go through the day and experience what Lancer Life is all about. So if you click on that part of their checklist, this page will come up. You click this little register now button, and up, it's just a really quick kind of fast way to go through this registration part. So you just fill that out, and at the bottom, there's a fine arts interest as well. So one of our rotations in the school is through our fine arts department during the day. And so if your student is really interested in band or dance or drama or choir or the visual arts, just click one of those, and then we can make sure that we get them into that specific fine arts department during the day. If really you don't know, or they're not really interested in fine arts, just leave it as none selected, and that'll be just fine too. But let's go back to Lance here. So Lance again, so StepUp Day registration, you register right there. Again, everything on the checklist to fill out online is going to be right here for you, and you can fill everything out right here. You don't need to go searching for another web page or searching for a form. Everything is on the checklist for you in one nice, convenient location. So for some of you, you filled out the application form already. For others of you who haven't, next application form, again, you just click the button and the application form will come up here. Just a second, it's loading. There we go, and it's our application form, and it's going to ask for various things of the student's information, their current school, what are their interests, family information, etc. So that's our application for admission, and then there is an application fee of $60. Again, I'm getting you ready for college. So parents, if you haven't seen what a college application or an application fee looks like lately, since we applied to colleges, me way back in the day, get ready. Our application fee is $60, and that just pays for things like StepUp Day and all our other events and things. But yes, there is an application fee associated with this. Also, it's important. I like to note that if you have any forms to review, anytime you log into the system, a yellow bar will come up. So if I'm asking you to fill out a form and you haven't done that yet, the little yellow bar at the top of the screen will remind you that you have a form to review, and things. And I'm actually going to talk specifically about this form next, because the form to review is actually a transcript request form. So for all of our students, we will be requesting your students, if they're an incoming freshman, their 7th and 8th grade transcripts from their schools. And then if they're a transfer student, we'll be requesting their transcript from their high school. And so we're asking you to fill out this form. And this form, we'll click fill out. What this form is a signed request from you as the parent to request their transcripts from their school. And so what we'll do at the end of the first trimester or semester, depending on your student's school, is we will take the liberty of requesting their transcripts directly from their school. So there's nothing more for you to do. Once you complete this form, Salpointe takes it from there. Again, we're just trying to make it easy on you. So this is our transcript request form. Student information, you can kind of just see who your student is. There's no date of birth here because I didn't put that in for my student. But then you're going to digitally sign, where you just type in your name. I'll do it real quick. By the way, I'm not a big typer. I'm a copy and paster. So I like to copy and I like to paste. Yes, the system allows you to do that. And then you just submit. And then the form is processed. And you can see that yellow bar disappear because now we're done with the form. That is one of the required things that we will ask you to do. So again, coming back to the checklist, StepUp Day registration. If you want your kid to come to Salpointe on December 12th, on December 4th, for StepUp Day, you click there to register. Application form, again, we do require an application form to officially apply to Salpointe. Transcript requests, I just completed that. The other thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to request recommendations from your student's school about them. And we require a principal or counselor recommendation, a recommendation from their English teacher, and a recommendation from their math teacher. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. Oh, they have to write letters. Oh, I need to contact the teacher, and it's going to take them a lot of time and things. No, that's not how it works anymore. Even for the majority of colleges, we are not asking teachers to write letters on their behalf. There's a lot of students that apply to Salpointe, a lot of them from the same schools, and to ask an English teacher to do 20 individual recommendation letters just isn't feasible anymore. And so what we do is we have an online system that will digitally send their principal or counselor, their English teacher, and their math teacher a form for them to complete. And these are simply character recommendations. So for example, if I'm clicking principal or counselor and I start this, what you're going to need to type in is you're going to need to type in the principal or counselor's name and their email address. Once you do that, you hit send request. Okay, so let's type in fake principal, fake.org. All right, and if you want to see what it looks like, okay, you can hit preview request, and there it's hello fake principal, and you can see what we're sending, what the system will send out to their principal. But also, if you have any additional comments to put in there, you can. It'll go in the email out to the principal or the teachers. My biggest recommendation is once you do this, send the principal or teachers another email from your email account saying, hey, Salpointe's going to send you a recommendation form. Thank you for your help in completing this for my kid. And just in case you're wondering, These forms take the principal, counselor, or the teachers approximately about a minute to complete. They are extremely fast. The school teachers and counselors that we've been doing this with for the last 6 years absolutely love them because they're quick. It's all online. Once they hit submit, it comes right back to us here at Salpointe, and this is marked as completed on your sheet. So there's no paper. There's nothing for you to print and turn in and track with your kid and have things get lost at the bottom of their backpack. I'm speaking from experience because I was that kid. So this is a fast and easy way to request those. So I'm just gonna jump into a couple of the questions that have to do with this part before I move on with my presentation. So one of the first questions was, how do I get on the email list? So very, very simply, to get on our email list, you go to our website. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share this tab instead. And you go to www.salpointe.org. And under admissions, just click the request information button. So if you haven't done this yet, if you were forwarded this information from a friend, click the request information button, and you're going to fill out your student's name, your information, your email address, okay, and all of this information, and then I will get right back to you. Also, if you want to get on my if you want to get on my email list, you can apply for StepUp Day. So once you fill out a StepUp Day registration, you get on my email list. All right, this went right back to Lance, but we'll go back here. So you can apply for StepUp Day. If you start an application, you'll get on the mailing list. So however you do it, you request information, you sign up for StepUp Day, or you just start an application, you will get on the mailing list. So don't worry about that. The next question that I had is, let me read it off here. If your student's being homeschooled and does not have official transcripts, what do we do? So there's a few things happening here. So for our students who have always been in homeschools, what we do is a lot of the homeschool programs will provide you with a transcript that you can print out and send to us or just email to us, which is just fine. If you're part of a new homeschool program and you don't have anything, then what we'd like to do is we'd like to request their transcripts from last year. So if you just switch schools, we'll request their grades from their former school just for 7th grade. And then at some point during your homeschool process, you will either give your student a grade or the program will give them a grade and just forward that along to us. It's good that you brought this question up because we do have quite a few families who have moved to the all homeschool model this year from the traditional school setting due to COVID. And so let me just kind of jump into that part today too. So if you have a homeschool student, again, transcripts, if they went to a traditional school in 7th grade, let us know, and we'll request their 7th grade transcripts from their school. And we might just ask for, a list of classes or curriculum that they're currently taking through the new homeschool program. So that's pretty kind of straightforward when it comes to transcripts. When it comes to homeschool students and recommendations, this is always the big question that we get from families. How do I give my own student a recommendation? You don't. If you're doing the homeschool program and you are, in fact, their principal, their English teacher, their math teacher, it's not right or appropriate for you to give your own kid their own recommendation. And so what we do is we ask you to, instead of their English teacher, you're going to type in the name of maybe their music teacher or a teacher that they had last year, or someone of that nature who can give them a character recommendation that's somebody other than the parent. And then just give them a heads up that they will get that recommendation form in. Again, these recommendations that we're getting from the principal, the English teacher, and the math teacher, these are character recommendations. So if you're in a homeschool program and they're in the Girl Scouts, all right, she's in the Girl Scouts, she's one of the leaders in the Girl Scouts, and you want the Girl Scout leader to give them their recommendation. If they're in a homeschool, then type in their information here and give them a heads up that they're doing it. Because the questions that are asked are, do they listen well? Do they follow direction? Do they work well with others? What type of kid are they? It doesn't ask specific math or English questions. But if your student's in a traditional school, then we do want their principal or counselor and then English teacher and math teachers recommendations. Also, if you do have a homeschool student this year and they don't have a traditional principal or counselor that they're communicating with online, please send me an email separately, as we could waive the principal or counselor recommendation part of this, just due to their unique school environment. So I hope that helps. And then, yes, so the next question is, if they're being homeschooled, can they have their 7th grade teacher submit a recommendation? Of course they can. So have them submit the recommendation, type in their name and email address, and again, give them a heads up that you're requesting this from them, so that way they're not taken off guard by it. So again, if you have any questions, just type them into the chat. But these are the online forms where you as a parent can complete these today. You can complete them right now if you like, or you can complete them at a later date too. This is the general process for forms. Right? StepUp Day, application form, transcript request, and then the recommendation. So those are the forms to complete for this part of the application process. The next part of the application process. Now you can see there are 2 more things on the application process. There's the entrance exam, okay, and there's the interview. All right. I'm gonna talk just really briefly about the interview, as more information will be sent to families in January of this should be changed. It should be 2021. It's great that we're doing this. That way I can see the little typos that went in as well. So that'll be updated today. But the parent-student interview, that is a great day for you as the parent and your student to come to Salpointe to sit down with one of our faculty members, teachers, counselors, and just kind of talk with us. We want to get to know you just as much as you want to get to know us. So you're going to ask us questions and we're going to ask you questions, because really it's a chance to get a lot of things answered in a very personal kind of way, rather than through email or through even a virtual call. We really want to meet you and your student, and I know you want to meet us because you're going to have questions for us as well. And those all happen in January. And again, I'm gonna send everybody information about that in January of 2021. I'm making a note to myself right here to change it, to update that. The next biggest question that I get, besides financial aid, and again, we're going to have a whole nother session just on financial aid with Teresa, our financial aid manager. I always get 2 big questions from almost every parent. Financial aid, okay, obviously, I'm right there with you. And then the entrance exam. What is the entrance exam? So the entrance exam is required for every single incoming freshman applicant to Salpointe Catholic. All right. It is a requirement. It cannot be waived. It cannot be substituted from another test. We require all the kids to take the entry exam, which is the HSPT. That's what this stands for, High School Placement Test. That's the name of the test that we use. It's a nationally standardized test. Every kid needs to do this. From some parents, I get the question, why? Why do kids need to take the entry exam when they're at a school and they're getting grades and they've done AZ merits or MAP testing or things? The quick answer is that Salpointe Catholic gets kids from all over Southern Arizona. So of our 330 freshmen this year, they came from 73 different middle schools. So to try and take all the different middle schools, all the different ways they test and give grades, and kind of put that into a level playing field, so It's just not possible. So we need to give all of our incoming freshmen the same standardized test to see really where are they at on this in this one examination. And then we also look at their grades and their standardized testing, but it's really a way for us to compare a little bit a kid going to Orange Grove or Espero to a kid going to Lehman Academy or Legacy Traditional School to a kid who goes to Saints Peter and Paul or St. Cyril's. And if I'm leaving any school off, don't take offense. I simply used a combination of public schools, charter schools, and private schools right there in that example. But that's why we require all incoming freshmen applicants to take this entry exam. But this test is not meant to be a surprise. All right, we're not trying to trick the kids with this test. We're not trying to scare them or anything like that. We're really trying to get a snapshot of where they're at academically using this exam. So we put links to our practice test website not only in the checklist, okay, and I'll come right back to this, but also we have it right here on our website. So if you're on our website under admission, right here, entrance exam information, and both of these things take you to the same link. So we'll click entry exam information, and it comes to this page. So this is our entry exam website. And this is just some really good information, not only for you as the parent, but for the student to get a look at what the test is and how does it work. Because again, this is not meant to be a surprise. This is meant to really just kind of give everybody a look at what this test is. So you can kind of read some general information. Welcome to our free website. Also, I am a person that I don't like to reinvent the wheel, so I want to take this opportunity to thank Bellarmine Catholic in the Bay Area of California for use of a lot of this information, because I borrowed a good amount of this information from them. But if you click on general information, here's some general information not only about the test, but about the notes about the exam. So over 80% of all Catholic high schools in the United States use this test. So it's a national test. It's not just something that Salpointe Catholic created. Catholic school students will take this in their Catholic middle school during the week of November 2nd. For those of you who are attending Catholic schools or your kids are attending Catholic schools, your Catholic school will give you the date of the test. This November 2nd date might change for some of the schools just because of COVID and when kids are really allowed to come back to campus. We're actually having meetings and communications about that this week. So once we get that information completed, we'll get it out to your Catholic schools and they'll communicate with you parents on when your kid will be taking it at their school. But if your kid goes to a non-Catholic school, or if they go to a Catholic school and they just miss the date at their school, they can also come to Salpointe Catholic and take it either on Saturday, December 12th or Saturday, January 9th. And those are our two entry exam dates. You don't need to RSVP for the exam. Once you complete an application, your kid's automatically signed up. You don't need to tell us, oh, they're coming on this date. We will have plenty of space, plenty of proctors, plenty of test materials for every single kid that shows up for either of these test dates. And then also we'll be sending out detailed information about our COVID policies and procedures for these test dates. For example, we'll have a maximum of 12 students in a classroom with a teacher. They will be socially distanced in the classrooms. They will be required to wear masks. And so we'll have all those things set up and ready to go for you before that test date. We'll send all that out to you before then. Students can only take the entry exam once. So again, the purpose of this test is to get a snapshot of where they are academically. The reason that students can only take this test once is we don't want it to be a cheat at the test. We don't want them to see the questions, because the December 12th date test is the exact same test that they would take on January 9th. All right, so they can only take it once. They can't take a practice test on the 12th and then come in on January 9th. and do better. So they take it once. Also, in case you're asking, well, shouldn't my kid take it on January 9th? That way they have more time to study. Coming from a former student that didn't do a whole lot of studying before tests, do you really think they're going to study over the Christmas holiday for this test? Yeah, probably not. But also, the test scoring adjusts to the date that they take the test. So, for example, your student takes the test on December 12th. They actually don't need to answer as many questions correct to get the same score that they would on January 9th, because the test center takes the results of the test and then looks at the date that they took the test and their birth date, and then gives us a national percentile of what they did. That's why for our students who are in Catholic schools, when they take it in November, they don't have to answer as many questions correctly as they would in December, because they haven't had much schooling. And the test takes that into consideration when they do the scoring, because it's a national percentile score, not you answered 40 out of 45 questions correct. Instead, it looks at how many questions you answered correctly, what questions you answered correctly, and the date that you took the test and the student's age. So it factors in a lot more things than just whether or not they got a number of questions correct. Salpointe Catholic will provide all test materials. Calculators are not allowed. The test does take about 3.5 hours, right? And breaks will be put into that time as well. Also on the site, you can see practice quizzes. So the test has actually 5 different sections: a language section, a math section, a quantitative skills section, a reading section, and a verbal skills section. So if your student wants to take some practice tests, this is the practice quiz verbal skills, all right? This is a timed test. So it's important that every time they take one of these practice tests that they realize that during the actual test they will be timed. So on the real entry exam, for the verbal skills section is 60 questions long, and you'll be given 18 minutes. The practice test is only 20 questions long. Therefore, you should complete this in about 5 to 6 minutes. So that way kids can get used to pacing themselves and see how fast they're moving. And this is the same practice test. So if they take this practice test, these questions don't change. So it's just kind of a good way to give them a quick practice test. And if you want more practice tests for this, over here under more, there's additional information, and that'll take you, we'll just go right there. That'll take you to some other websites that offer practice tests as well, too. But I recommend the practice quizzes. They're good, again, for your kid to get a quick glimpse of what the test is about. And once they take the test, so this is the language section, they're going to look for errors. So we'll answer a couple questions here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, kids can answer I don't know, because at the end of this, I have to answer everyone because we required it. What they do is, oops. So misspelled word, and then you can choose some other things. We'll hit next, and we'll do a couple more. Sorry, I should have gone to an easier one. But once they submit it, okay, they can see, they'll be able to see their score. Okay, so if you click view score, they'll be able to see, hey, look at that. Out of answering all those questions randomly, I got a 2 out of 20. All right. But they'll be able to see not only the question, they'll be able to see what they answered. All right. They'll be able to see the correct answer, and then they'll also be able to see feedback. And what this feedback is that if they're wondering why they got it incorrect, they can see, okay, well, review the subject verb agreement module for sure. It might be good to look at commas, capitalization, depending on what confused you. And what these modules are is, if we go back to our practice test website, so we will, oh, sorry, you didn't see the score. I need to share this tab instead. I apologize. On the practice quiz, once you take it and you get the results, you'll see that you can answer. I got 2 out of 20. They can see total points, and then again they can see what question they answered, what's the correct answer, and then what module they should be looking at. So that's for all the questions. And where you find the modules, go back to the entry exam website, and right here under learning modules, there's various things, there's various learning modules where you can go, or your student can go and get updated information. So here's solving analogy things. And so you can watch a YouTube video. These are quick little videos and lessons to kind of maybe refresh your students' knowledge of these various areas too. So that's the entry exam. And again, I recommend you look at this website, your kid takes some practice quizzes, so they at least get a good look at what everything's happening. So I'm going to go back to the checklist. So the checklist is right here again. Everything you need to know on how to do stuff is right here, and I will be sending you email reminders as we go through. In case you want to know what else is happening on the checklist, the decision tab. So on January 29th at 4 p.m., the decisions of all students, of all incoming freshmen who have applied, who have taken the entry exam and done an interview, and we've gotten their transcripts and recommendations, their decision on their acceptance for next year will be posted here on Friday, January 29th after 4 p.m. So you can log in and see your students' information too. So that is a quick look at the checklist. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to jump back to our web page, and then I'm going to answer some questions as well. So here's back to our web page. We'll go back to the start of our web page, and again, a lot of great information. I do recommend, if you haven't been there yet, check out our virtual open house page. It's got a nice little welcome message from me. Our other lunch with the Lancer dates. So next week is about academics, where Tony Giretti, our vice principal for academics, will be leading the discussion and kind of going over our general academic program. And then we'll have a fine arts, financial aid, and then athletics in preparation for our on-campus open house, which is in November. But again, if you're on my mailing list, if you start an application, request information, or sign up for StepUp Day, you'll get on my mailing list. Also, you can see messages from Kay Sullivan, our president, Keith Gabalski, our principal, and then other great areas of the campus as well, too. So I really recommend checking that out. That's going to give you some great information. So there are some more questions that came in. So let me go through this. So what math curriculum does Salpointe Catholic use? So Salpointe Catholic, because we're a full college prep high school, is we take our math curriculum and how we structure it and the pacing of it based on what the colleges are looking for and what they're requiring in terms of algebra credit, geometry credit, and then pre-calculus and things. And so we will have actually kids that come in at every different level of math, because they could be a great reader, they could be a great English student, but they're really bad at math and they need some extra help, or vice versa, they're really advanced at math, and so they need some more advanced classes. So specifically when it comes to the classes, you can always go to our website, go to academics, and there's a little curriculum button. So under the curriculum, you can see some general information, but if you want to know about math, there's a little drop down and there's mathematics, and you can see general information about math, and then the levels that we offer. And I think actually, to say no, it says unknown who posted the question. So thank you, unknown, for the question. But when it comes to course placement and where do kids start in our math curriculum, we base our initial course placement off of their entry exam scores, all right? We also look at their transcripts from their former school, and then they have the opportunity, our accepted students, to take challenge tests. So we have a lot of kids that come to Salpointe that are accepted who already are taking Algebra 1, either right now in 8th grade or they took it in 7th grade. And so for them to go from Algebra 1 into geometry or Algebra 2, okay, they need to take a challenge test to make sure they learn enough algebra during their 7th or 8th grade year to be successful later on in our curriculum. So we have some students that are accepted to Salpointe and they pass the Algebra 1 test. They pass the geometry test because they're taking geometry right now. They pass Algebra 2 and they go right into pre-calc trig as a freshman. And then from there, they can then take statistics, calculus honors, and then we also have AP Calculus AB, AP Calculus BC, and then we have AP Statistics as well. So there's a lot of different classes they could take in our math curriculum. But usually, every student, the majority of our students start with Algebra 1 or Algebra 1 honors. That's usually the majority of our incoming freshmen. Because even though they may have taken Algebra 1 in 7th grade, especially last year with the pandemic, a lot of them only got through March of Algebra 1, so they didn't really get the full curriculum. And some kids need an extra year of algebra to really prepare themselves for Algebra 2 later on and pre-calc trig. These are classes that require a good basis in algebra. So that's why we take the time at the beginning of the admissions process and at the beginning of their high school career to make sure that they're placed in that right math class. If you have a student that needs some extra help in math, let's say they're in pre-algebra right now in 8th grade and they're struggling, but they're a good student, they're a great community member, they do well on the entry exam, just not at math, but they do well on everything else, then for those kids, we have a pre-algebra class. And so there it prepares students for Algebra 1, okay? And it does go towards their math graduation requirements. So they can take that class. And we have some students that need another year of pre-algebra because math just isn't clicking for them yet. And then they go into Algebra 1. So that kind of answers the question about kids who struggle in math and pre-algebra, the general kid who just needs to start off in Algebra 1 or Algebra 1 honors, all right? And then the kids who are really advanced who go right into Algebra 2 or geometry honors. But we also have another set of kids when it comes to math. And these are kids who know enough algebra, who they know a lot of algebra, but they just don't know enough to be successful in Algebra 2. But they do well on our entry exam and other things that we see. So we have what this is, and it's right here. This is a hybrid course, and it's geometry honors with Algebra 1 honors. And what this program is kids test into it after admissions is completed. Once they're accepted, they can test into this course. And it's a combination of geometry honors, Algebra 1 honors their first year, and then their sophomore year, geometry honors and Algebra 2 honors their sophomore year. And these are combination classes. And so at the end of those 2 years, they get an Algebra 1 credit, a geometry honors credit, and an Algebra 2 honors credit. And so these are for kids who are very smart kids. They do well in math. They just haven't learned enough Algebra 1 to be successful in Algebra 2 yet. So it's kind of a hybrid class that allows those kids to kind of get back up to that advanced level that they were on track to do. So that's our math curriculum. And so that's a good look at it. If you have other questions about our English curriculum is right here. And then you can also always contact one of our department chairs. So for under English, Teresa Sperduto is our English department chair. Click on her email address and it'll open up that window for you, and you can email her as well. And she'll be happy to answer your questions, along with STEM. We always have a lot of questions from parents about our science, technology, engineering, and math program. Cecilia Gosler is our department chair. But Engineering Fundamentals is our freshman engineering course. And we'll give you more information about how accepted students can interview to get into that course. And then goes all the way up into Engineering 102, which is dual credit with the University of Arizona. So Engineering 102 is for seniors, and it's dual credit with the U of A. And that is another kind of look at our website. And again, everything's right here for you. And if you do have any questions, you can always reply back to one of my emails, or my email information is right here on our website. So I'm going to open it up to any other questions. Again, just please type them into the chat if you have any other questions. And if not, I'll give it another couple minutes. But if not, I'm going to say thank you very much for showing up to our first lunch with Lancers. We are recording this session, so we'll be able to post this to our website. And so if you do want to go back and review anything, that'll be presented right there. I don't see any other questions coming in. I'll give it another minute or so. But again, I do want to thank everybody for doing this. And if you haven't gone on to my mailing list yet, again, jump over to our website. You can do it by requesting information, sign up for StepUp Day, start an application, or even just shoot me an email with your name, your email address, and your student's name and the school they go to, and I'll build an account for them and send you the information. But again, everything is right here. So again, thank you all so much for coming to this first call. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to working with you during this year. And again, if you do have any questions, please let me know, and I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. All right. Thank you so much, and you all have a great day. Bye now.